We recently received a major look at the Samsung Galaxy Buds 4 lineup, and Samsung is making some daring moves by totally revamping the series. First, the big news: the Blade Light design is officially gone. Instead of that classic design, Samsung is aiming toward a flatter, slimmer, and more angular feel. Based on the current renders, this new direction really looks rather excellent, but it is a major change from past generations. While the attention has primarily been on the Buds 4 Pro, we now have official shots of the standard Buds 4 as well. It turns out the regular model looks just like the Pro variants we've seen, suggesting a pretty cohesive style across the entire series. There are 5 new updates coming to the Buds 4 Pro. According to the sources, some of these modifications make a lot of sense, while others really don't, which would leave some fans feeling conflicted. You'd anticipate same brushed metal look, except without the ear tips you get on the Pro model. The charging case is changing too. Samsung is scrapping the vertical Buds 3 casing and going back to a horizontal layout. Kind of like the Buds 2 Pro, but now with a transparent lid. Now the design of the Buds 4 wasn't shocking. The battery situation, though, is where things get odd. We now have battery capacity for the Buds 4, Buds 4 Pro, and their cases obtained straight from internal codes in the One UI 8.5 beta. So that's how it breaks down. The basic Buds 4 will have a 42 mAh battery, while the Buds 4 Pro climbs to 57 mAh. The good news here is the Buds 4 Pro receives a 4 mAh increase over its predecessor. That doesn't sound like much, but it's around an 8% boost, which should translate to slightly longer battery life. But the odd aspect is that the standard Buds 4 are really losing 6 mAh compared to the Buds 3. And it gets worse when you look further back. The Buds 2 had a 61 mAh battery. That puts the Buds 4 down roughly 13% versus the Buds 3, and a staggering 31% compared to the Buds 2. Why would Samsung do this? Honestly, I don't know anymore. I've stopped pretending this organization always makes sensible decisions. The only explanation that even remotely makes sense is efficiency. The Buds 3 has proven that Samsung can decrease the battery and still maintain similar battery life thanks to a more efficient processor. So maybe Samsung looked at it and thought, why not shrink it again and just keep battery life the same? If that's the case, cool. But also, why not offer users the benefit instead of lowering capacity again? That's the part that's aggravating. At least the Buds 4 Pro go the opposite direction. Bigger battery, therefore, battery life should improve there. As for the cases, the Buds 4 Pro case receives a 15 mAh bump. Nothing remarkable, but at least it's not a downgrade. We still don't know the case capacity for the standard Buds 4. Moving on, Samsung removed a very unpleasant constraint from the Buds 3. The Buds 4 lineup gets a bodily gesture to engage interpreter mode. Just pinch and hold the stems on both earbuds. With the Buds 3, you had to get out your phone and manually start interpreter first. On the Buds 4, you just execute the gesture, and it's on. Way more convenient. Your phone still needs to be connected though. No magic here. Interestingly, the AirPods Pro employ a very similar technique for live translation. Call it copying, call it inspiration. If it makes the feature faster and easier to use, that's a win. So, what else is the Buds 4 lineup bringing to the table? Well, they're getting head gestures. You may nod or shake your head to handle calls, notifications, alarms, and timers, and even say yes or no to the phone's AI assistant. Other earphones do this, but in a very restricted fashion. Samsung's version appears a lot more versatile and truly helpful. There's also a new button on the charging case near to the USB-C port. Double press it, and your associated phone rings so you can find it. And based on what appears like a speaker grill, so the Galaxy Buds 4 and Buds 4 Pro are quite likely arriving alongside the S26 series at Unpacked. But here's the portion that actually matters. The listing doesn't merely confirm timing. It also highlights some minor modifications Samsung made behind the scenes. I glanced over the official documentation, and this is one of those upgrades that sounds uninteresting, but fixes a significant problem: the antenna. Samsung discreetly shifted from the QLDS antenna architecture used on the Buds 3 Pro to a complete metal. Antenna design for the Buds 4 Pro. Now, on paper, that doesn't sound interesting, and even the test figures don't look big. But here's why it actually matters. Instead of the signal moving up and down like before, the Buds 4 Pro keep a considerably more constant connection. So if you're sitting at a desk or resting on the couch, you generally won't notice anything. But if you move about, this is a significant thing. Those random cootouts on public transit, at the gym, or when traveling between rooms, this upgrade is made to fix that. And Samsung didn't stop there. Bluetooth power on the Buds 4 Pro is better. But more significantly, it's cleaner and more stable. Testing reveals Samsung is definitely pushing Bluetooth. This time, with the signal staying strong instead of dipping like it did before. And that's exactly what caused those little audio losses or delayed reconnects. You receive faster reconnects when you open the case, more reliable switching between devices, fewer random audio hiccups, and better battery life, all without sacrificing performance. This is the kind of update you don't notice right away, but once you do, you can't unnotice it. Now, the Buds 4 Pro come in at approximately 0.48 watts per kilogram, which is incredibly low. Or specific absorption rate is basically how much wireless energy your body absorbs. Lower is preferable. What's impressive is Samsung made the signal stronger without using more power. That's not easy to do. If you care about long-term health, this genuinely matters. And these are only the internal modifications. Samsung also made changes to the style, battery, and functions, including stuff you won't even find on the AirPods Pro. So, what do you think about this new look? Is the thinner, angular design a much-needed upgrade, or do you prefer the older style? Let me know in the comments. See you in my next video.